Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we are specifically going to talk about the incredible work that is happening on in Candela and Obscura to threaten Dungeons and Dragons. All right, so first of all, the tabletop role-playing game community is looking for a D&D killer. They're looking for something to replace it. They're looking for something to stick it to Dungeons and Dragons after the 2023 Manic Panic, right, which happened in January. And so it doesn't matter what creators want, it doesn't matter what companies want. The tabletop role-playing community is going to put these games into the position of competing directly with Dungeons & Dragons and knocking Dungeons & Dragons over. Does Candela Obscura have anything that threatens Dungeons & Dragons for real? The answer is heck to the yes, man. I just finished Candela Obscura Episode 1, and it is staggering what it accomplishes. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about what Matthew Mercer actually accomplished with Candela Obscura. Well, what he actually accomplished with Candela Obscura is some very powerful narrative achievements. One of them is the one-shot campaign, right? So people talk about these things, but like, talk is easy, right? How do you get it done? How do you actually do it? And Matthew Mercer just showed it, right? So first of all, Candela Obscura has this brilliant mechanic where it says, okay, Candela Obscura is this adventuring organization that can bring resources to bear. And they solve supernatural problems by creating circles, which is a narrative structure for a adventuring party. Now, don't just stop there. That does not exist in Dungeons and Dragons, right? They actually have started bringing patrons. They recently started saying, hey, what happens if you use patrons, right? And so basically they started using these patrons, and but they didn't do it well, right? Now that I look at it, I'm like, they spread it across all kinds of different like they put it into Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. Oh my gosh, holy cows. I think Matthew Mercer was giving the circles idea. Oh my gosh, holy crap. I think what you're seeing in Candela Obscura may have been built in the Exandria books, the D&D canon hardback ones, not the stupid ones that Darrington Press made that don't matter, right? The actual D&D canon hardbacks, Explorer Guides to Wildmount, and used patrons pretty extensively, right? Wow. And then also, there was some of it in Call to the Netherdeep. That's very interesting. Yeah, that is very interesting. So basically, you have a patron structure in Dungeons and Dragons, but it's nothing like what they've accomplished here with the sealing of a circle. They actually give a narrative structure saying your lone wolf crap is cute. It's done. It's not welcome here, right? Like, you are in with this group or you are out, right? Like, and basically they literally have the group swear loyalty to each other and to the Candela Obscura at the beginning of each adventure. And then and if that circle doesn't work and somebody's like, oh, I'm my own little special snowflake and I don't care what anybody else in the group wants, you just take them out of the circle, right? Like, and like the story and the mechanics are saying, do you have a suck player who likes the lone wolf? Get him gone, right? Like the narrative structure and the mechanics are saying, get gone your suck player. Don't sit them in the corner and let them make the game suck for the rest of the people. They're swearing in at the beginning of every adventure to help everyone at the table and literally seek after the goals of the patron organization they're serving. It's purpose built into the narrative and into the structure, and there's nothing like it in D&D. But that's not even what I was getting to. Let's get to the big one. So you have the circle and you have the structure, but what really is interesting is because you have the circle, right? They proved it. You can do an entire adventure in one session, right? I've known this forever. I've been squeezing Dungeons and Dragons down to 1 hour. I've known this for 5 years, right? I've been squeezing Dungeons and Dragons to 1 hour so that you can actually get an adventure in all by itself. There are no D&D live streams that are doing this, right? They're taking 5, 6, 8, 10 hours, across 3 different sessions to tell a story, right? And Matthew Mercer's like, that's not needed. You can tell, and you can set up the initial problem. You can literally gather the entire team. You can then do the investigation, and then you can have the final combat. And it takes one session. And if you take one more, you suck. You suck. This is 2023. Nobody's playing at your 1983 blow the dust off your stupid books game, right? This is 1983. Get it moving. The pace needs to be fast, and you need an entire adventure in a single session, right? That's where we're heading, right? That's where we're landing. It's incredible. It is really, really spectacular, and I am amazed. And get this, it's not just a one shot. It's a campaign of one shots, right? The campaign is one shot, one shot, one shot, one shot, one shot. And it is a promise. It is a promise. It is a promise. You as a player showed up, right, to Candela Obscura. You gave me this evening. You will get an entire adventure. You will get resolution. You will get beginning, middle, and end in one session. And it rocks. It is absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love it. And it is not paralleled in Dungeons & Dragons currently, right? Candela Obscura is a major threat to Dungeons & Dragons, and we really need to be watching this thing carefully. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get into the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.